Royal Caribbean's Grandeur of the Seas is the smallest, oldest, and yes, the worst rated ship in their fleet. But is it really as bad as they say? We decided to check it out for ourselves, and after 96 hours on board, I am still conflicted about it. Some parts of this cruise left me pleasantly surprised, while others were downright shocking, and not in a good way. So, should you avoid this ship, or is there more to this story? Let's dive in. One of the first things people wonder about this ship is it too small? Well, here's the reality. Despite being the smallest ship in the Royal Caribbean's fleet, Grandeur does not feel like a sardine can. Sure, you won't find massive promenades or roller coasters, but it also means less fighting over poolside loungers or getting lost on your way to dinner. You can walk from one end of the ship to the other in just a few minutes, so it's perfect for those that get lost on larger ships after a few drinks. But here's the flip side. If you're used to endless options for dining, entertainment, and activities, you might feel a little bit limited. It's great for a shorter getaway, like a 4-day cruise, but after that, the lack of variety can really start to feel, well, noticeable. Think of it like your favorite local diner. It's cozy, it's familiar, but you probably wouldn't want to eat there every meal. Now let's talk about the big question, is it too old? And yes, this ship is definitely showing its age. If you're expecting the sleek, futuristic design with touchscreens everywhere, you'll be disappointed. There is rust on some railings, and a few areas feel like they're straight out of a 90s cruise brochure. But here's where things get interesting. Despite the age, the ship has been refurbished in most areas. The staterooms are mostly updated, they're comfortable enough, but I have to be honest, the bathrooms, that's another whole story. And on our cruise, we had toilets not flushing on lower decks and plumbing issues in public restrooms throughout the ship, which made you really appreciate the ones that were working in your cabin. And so if you think about it, it's kind of like driving a vintage car. It has a charm, but the quirks start to add up. So if you're into this nostalgic vintage cruising vibe, you might actually love it. But if you're the type who can't stand anything less than shiny and new, this ship might test your patience. Is this ship boring? Well, that's going to depend on what you're looking for in a cruise. If your preferred cruise activities include water slides, laser tag, and zip lining, yes, you are going to be disappointed. Grandeur is not about high-energy thrills, which is why you'll see a lot less kids and more retirees. But before you roll your eyes, let me say this. Boring is all relative. For some people, the slower pace is a huge win. There's plenty of things to do during the day. There are trivia games, bingo, activities, and just finding a quiet spot to read and relax is something that many people are looking for. So it's not exactly thrilling, but it's perfect for a laid-back cruise. Now on the flip side, if you have kids or you're someone who needs non-stop action, you will find yourself counting the hours until the next port stop. So yes, boring is very much a matter of perspective, and you will either love it or hate it depending on what you like in a cruise. When it comes to entertainment on Grandeur, don't expect Broadway-level productions or flashy acrobatic shows like on the bigger ships. But that doesn't mean that it's all bad news. Grandeur focuses on more laid-back style of fun. It's all about smaller performances like live bands in the lounges, comedians cracking up jokes, and small stage shows. It's more intimate, and for some people, it's exactly what they're looking for. But let's be honest, if you are used to giant productions and that's what you're looking for, you will most likely feel like something is missing. The main theater doesn't host anything on the scale of what you would find on the largest ships. Instead, you'll find smaller shows. A lot of the entertainment comes from interactive activities like the trivia, karaoke, or game nights. And that is where Grandeur shines, the daytime activities. You're never short for things to do during the day. With poolside games, scavenger hunts, arts and crafts, I think they had the most trivia games that we've ever seen on one cruise. And by the way, the cruise director on this ship is hands down one of the best. He brought so much energy to the events that a lot of passengers said it was a highlight of the trip. So it may not be big and flashy, but for a quieter, relaxing cruise with some entertainment, Grandeur does deliver. Cruise food is something that can either make or break your experience. So how does Grandeur of the Seas stack up? Well, I'd say it's a mixed bag. If you've cruised on larger ships before, you probably used to overwhelming number of food options, from sushi bars to specialty taco joints. On this ship, the dining landscape is much simpler. The Windjammer Buffet, well, it's there, but it's nothing to write home about. It has limited options, very small space, and honestly, some meals were just blah. Now, talking about the main dining room, that is a place where it has a reputation of being hit or miss. And this ship is about the same. Some nights the dishes were good, others were just kind of fell flat, and service was all over the place. It really depended on the servers you got. So there were some good servers, and then there were some that clearly were not really experienced. With that said, this ship does have 3 specialty restaurants, and we tried all of them. We tried Chubb's Grill, Giovanni's, and Izumi. Food was very good. It was about the same as what we would get in other specialty restaurants on larger ships. The service was noticeably not as experienced as we have had on larger ships. And again, I think that's the trend, or that's the theme that we saw, that most of the servers, as nice as friendly as they were not nearly as experienced. A lot of them looked like they were starting out their career. We did not get the same level of service for our dining. So we're back to the big question. Is this ship worth sailing on? And I can honestly say, after sailing 4 days on it, I am still very conflicted about it. You have both positives and negatives. And on one hand, you do have a quieter, relaxing ship. If you're looking for a cruise with less kids, this is definitely going to give you that, because there's not many kids on the ship at all. And if you're looking for a small ship that's easier to navigate and not get lost, and all you want is just read a book, look at the ocean, take a nap, and get to the ports that it's going to, then this ship will do it for you. However, after sailing on all the different types of Royal Caribbean ships and many other cruise lines, I can honestly say that we found it lacking in quite a few areas. And for us, even if we're not trying to have a big cruise with a lot of entertainment and a lot of food, I would say we would probably still try to upgrade to something like a Vision class or Radiance class, because those ships do have more to offer. They have more venues, they have more food varieties, they have more entertainment, and they are usually about the same price as this ship. And additionally, the newer ships are not usually going to have as many plumbing issues or other maintenance issues as the oldest ships. So overall, did we hate this cruise? No, it was not a bad cruise. We enjoyed it, we relaxed, but overall, I would probably say that bigger ships win in my view. Now, many people are worried about crowds on big ships and all the different issues with big ships, and I just made another video comparing big ships versus small ships, in a sense that there are 7 different myths that people believe that we found not to be true as far as comparing the two, and you can watch that video right here.